Hello. Hi, everybody. Hello, John. Good to see you here. Nice and bright and early. That's awfully sweet of you. Well, wow. So many changes going on right now. So many changes. And so I decided I should probably come online because I'm getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions. And while we get started and everybody finds the stream, I want to talk to you about how I made myself a piñata. Olay. So I got myself some coconut water from Whole Foods, and then I got myself some tropical fruit juice, because I want to reduce the amount of sugar, so I put about this much of the coconut water and about this much of the tropical fruit juice, and now I have a piñata, pina colada without alcohol. But it's even better because it's got a fizz. Yeah, so it's like a fizzy pina colada. It's so yummy. Oh my God. It's my new favorite drink. Hi, always blessed. Good to see you. So I thought, in honor of I got my hat on backwards, don't I? In honor of the fact that things are getting oh so hot, I thought I would come on. Oh my. Put my piñata, make my piñata and wear my piñata hat. Yes. So, oh, hello, Be Grateful. We're back again. Yes, a lot of you have been having a lot of questions for me. So, here's what I want to say. I'm going to tell you what I know, and what I know is not a lot. And sometimes people get mad at me if it's not 100% accurate. No one's perfect. I am not always 100% perfect in my remotes. I do make mistakes. Doesn't mean I'm evil. Doesn't mean anybody is a bad person. I do my best. People have been angry. People are freaking out. That's not what it said on Midas Touch. Relax. I'll tell you everything I know. Again, sometimes I make mistakes. Let's start with the war in Ukraine. So here is what the remotes showed a couple of months ago. We're going to start with the war in Ukraine. There were growing tensions that were starting to develop between the Wagner Group and the military, that had to do with the fact that, for whatever reason, military soldiers wanted to blame someone for the fact that they were ill equipped. Now, we can get into all kinds of conversations about why the Russian military was basically in bad shape financially, but it was, and so people were not getting equipment, and so jealousy started to happen. This is what it looks like to me as the remote viewer. Another remote viewer might give you different feedback. I'm going to give you mine. So there's this growing tension between the resources of Wagner and the resources of the regular Russia group, food rations, weapons, etc. And so they start taking pot shots at each other. So it starts off as little skirmishes, back and forth, maybe because you got more food rations. So it becomes more and more and more. The other thing is that there was growing tension because they were using up too much equipment. We need more. We need more because we're the real soldiers. You're the crappy soldiers, and we're the real soldiers. So again, this tension. You guys run because you're not real soldiers. Wagner's the real soldiers. And because we're the ones that are doing the real fighting, we need more weapons. We need more ammo. So that again, so now we're seeing more tension. Now you have a Wagner contract where Shogu is looking at this attitude and thinking to himself, it's really important that people really hear this so that I not be misunderstood, because I can only tell you what I saw and how much I know. As much as I saw, I can't tell you more than that. Like, this is all that I saw. Okay, so Shogu wanted to replace him with cheaper mercenaries, companies that didn't cost as much money. First off, because the war budget has been bad in Russia. Russia doesn't have a good war budget. So they went to Africa. They were looking for cheaper soldiers that were not going to charge as much as Prigozhin. So then Prigozhin became very angry. I'm risking my life. My soldiers are out here dying. Do you have any idea what the conditions are in Bakhmut? And you are complaining. You think you can get somebody cheaper and you're only going to pay them in peanut butter sandwiches? This is my attitude, right? So I'm back and forth as the empath, and I'm getting angrier and angrier and angrier. I am in hell. Imagine you're in Bakhmut and you're doing your assignment and you're the best and they're all running off and you need more equipment. Of course you need more equipment. We are the soldiers that are doing the fighting. So you have this dynamic happening. And then he's told to wrap up Bakhmut. So 13 hours. They're in Bakhmut 13 hours. Okay, whatever. So the point is that he's asked to pull back from Bakhmut. And he thinks, okay, I'm going to get the big prize. I'm going to get a reward, right? I'm going to get paid, right? So again, the issue with Shogu was he's charging too much and his attitude stinks. We can get somebody in here for less money and less of an attitude. So now there's this economic thing happening. So then he didn't get paid. Remember the remote view I said? He's not going to get paid because I could tell when I went in what it was looking like. He didn't get paid. So then he got angry. Oh, you're not going to pay me now, huh? You're not going to pay me for Bakhmut? You're not going to pay me my reward, huh? Go back to the remotes from 3-4 weeks ago. You're not going to pay me? You're not going to pay me? Hey, Britain, NATO, you going to pay me? You going to pay me, Britain? They're not going to pay me. They're not going to pay me. Yes. Oh, hello. How are you? Yes, we would love to pay you. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a cup of tea. What would you like? Let's test each other. Give us a couple coordinates on the positions of Russians. We're looking for such and such. We need a little help. You give us a little something, we'll give you a little something. So he gave up locations of Russians to the British. Thank you very much. They gave him whatever and possibly safe passage, protection, or whatever. We're not going to blow you up. We know where you are, but we're not going to kill you right now. Could have been a situation like that. We're going to let you go. And thank you for giving us that information. So we know that this guy is good for giving us information about locations of Russian troops. We also know that this guy's people are not fans of the Russian troops. So then Shogu convinces Putin that they're going to fire Wagner and now he's not going to get paid. Remember what I said? He's not going to get paid. He's not going to get paid. Oh, you're not going to pay me. You're not going to pay me. Well, they're going to pay me. I'm coming to Moscow. I'm going to beat your ass. You ever know anybody like that? We all have an uncle like that. I actually have relatives like this. Oh, yeah? I did your plumbing. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Well, let me tell you something. I spent $8,000 just on the pipes alone. I'm coming down to your house. I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to beat your grandmother up. I'm going to get my damn money. I'm coming. That's what he did. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming to Moscow. I'm gonna get my money, right? Belarus comes in. Relax. You're gonna get your money. You're gonna get your. We'll get you a new contract. I want contract. I want money, and I want my reward for Bakhmut, and I want blah, 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 and Shogu. I want you to take care of him too. And da 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 da. Of course, we're gonna take care of all of that. Now, I personally don't know what's going to happen at this point. I always felt like it ends with Prigozhin surrounded, going up in flames, right? That look, he's not stable. If I were Putin, put yourself in his shoes. Would you work with this guy or would you take him out? Would you calm him down by, hey, yeah, honey, it's going to be just fine. Love, girl. Call me. The Crazy Ex, right? You ever see that show on Netflix, right? She's always breaking into song, right? um, it could be a situation like that, but given his behavior, I can't imagine that Putin could trust him, and I think he will be stabbed in the back. In terms of his future involvement with NATO, NATO is just, or his future with intelligence, whether it's CIA or the British, or I think it was probably British, because the British Secret Service was very close with Zelensky under the Tories. And so that is why I believe they brokered communication between Ukraine intelligence and the British. Yeah, probably with Ukraine intelligence, but also with the British. So now we're in a situation, they're very polite. Talk about great diplomacy skills. We'd love to have a conversation with you. Does that mean that Prigozhin is Ukrainian intelligence best friend, or Britain's best friend? Of course not, or the CIA or whoever else is involved. No, we're saying he gave us good locations. We'll see where it goes from here. We'll give you safe passage. We could take you out probably anytime we want to. What's he going to give us? So how does this war continue? I don't know. Maybe we need to do an impasse prayer. I honestly don't know, but I think it's probably coming to an end, because I can't imagine how it could continue when they're at war with each other. So that's all I know. So if you guys ask more about the remotes, these are remotes that I did like over the last 3 months. When the whole thing with Prigozhin came up, when I was doing remotes. So this was building up. You know how I try to give you the news 3 weeks early or 6 weeks early. This is where it was headed with the breakup and then him surrounded. In the remotes I've done in the past, he's surrounded and he goes down that way. I don't know. In terms of questions people had, the other thing that people wanted to talk about was Donald Trump, and they were confused about what kind of deal he could possibly make. Remember the vision I had of Trump? I joked about a tween on Maury Povich, right? That's I can't control him. He is out of control. You don't know me. You don't know me, right? I do what I want. You don't know me. You don't know me. Right? I did it my way. Well, unfortunately for you, Mr. Trump, you did do it your way, but you didn't respect your mother or the American people. And so now we're sending you to a military prison, because that's where we can control, for security reasons, against your crazy, crazy fans. And so I thought I was going to be able to stay with Eric, right? Going to have Eric as a babysitter. No, it's not fair to Eric. It's a security risk. The only way we're going to be able to protect you is putting you in the middle of Fort Myers or wherever, right? So then things change, right? When that becomes a real possibility, then what happens to the kid on Maury Povich when he's starting to be drug off by Officer Dan? You ever watch that? Officer Dan? No, mommy, I'll be good. I'm sorry. So we could be seeing a change of heart. What can Trump, other than saying guilty, 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 so that they don't have to go through a huge trial? First off, if he says I'm guilty to lesser sentences, they don't have to go through a huge trial. The other way that they're going to benefit is that if there's any money schemes or people any other names he can give up, co-conspirators, any little extra tidbits to put Giuliani in the slammer, Stone in the slammer, and anybody else that was a co-conspirator with him since he's been born. I mean, I can't imagine him being able to be free after this. I can't imagine him not being stuck in a maximum security prison in some place like Fort Myers, just because they understand that that's the only way that they could securely hold this person. But based on what it's feeling like. And yes, people are like, well, Midas Touch didn't say that. They said it's because they want a lot of time. Yes, and there's truth to that. I don't disagree with what Midas Touch is saying, but I also energetically feel that this guy knows he's caught, and mommy, I don't want to go with Officer Dan, and we could be seeing some look. He was given so many deals, so many opportunities, and he didn't want to do them. And so now it's kind of the come to Jesus moment for him, or come to Buddha, whatever you want. He's going to have to make a deal, and he's going to have to make it, and it's going to have to be good for the feds, considering what they've been through, which means a lot of names, a lot of names of a lot of people. The inauguration fund, for starters, right? So we're just, these are just ideas I'm floating around. Again, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine, given his fear of confinement. I'll tell you something else I get when I go into this guy's energy. He is terrified of being controlled or confined, and I think it's because of that military school experience, being contained, and you can't leave, and you can't go to your mom, and you're going to be, and people yelling, and God knows what else going on. So it's a real fear he has. Oh, thank you, Blue Tarot. That's very kind of you. But yeah, I always tell people I make mistakes all the time. An example of making a mistake is that I saw a puncture with the sub. So somebody got on me about it. No, 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 it wasn't a puncture. No, 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 it wasn't a puncture. It burst from inside. All I can tell you is that I felt something from the outside hit that led to the implosion. So again, it's an example of where I may have made a mistake. My job is only, I will be honest with you, I will always tell you the truth, and I will always deliver the remotes as they see them, as I see them. Okay, so on that note, let's go ahead. We'll do the empath's prayer, and we'll take a look. Any other questions for me that I didn't get to? And thank you for joining us. We will be meeting tomorrow at 11 a.m. So if you have to take off, we'll go through all of this stuff again. It's just that there was you guys, literally, there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of, I can't go through, it's easier for me to do it this way. Prigozhin, yeah, I don't know if Prigozhin is going to survive this, because if I were Putin and I saw this kind of behavior, I would take him out. He's a Benedict Arnold. He's a national threat. He's mentally unstable. We're pretty sure he's giving up our coordinates to the Ukrainians. Put yourself in their shoes. You're going to let this lunatic run around? Are you really going to give him new contracts? Are you sure about that? Would you give him new contracts if he was working for America and behaving like that and marching on Washington, D.C. and going to kill the president? Would you give him a new contract? So I think we just have to wait and see how it plays itself out. All right. Would you guys like to hear the empath's prayer, and then we'll blitz away for maybe half an hour or so? Hour? Who knows? You want to take another HCRV course? Join us. We're having one now, week 6. What are we getting into on week 6? Oh, the human energy field. Yes, we're going into ghost. Yes, astral bodies. We're doing astral body work on the 6th. Won't that be exciting? On the 6th week, we start to get into astral body work. And how vibration works, and how you can enter different dimensions through vibration. Yes, it's starting to get really wild. It's considered one way to multidimensionally travel is with your own mental. By changing your vibrational patterns, you can do multidimensional travel, and that's actually what we're going to be speaking on next week. So it's a fun lecture. Are we ready for the empath's prayer? Yes, no, announcements? Anybody have any announcements? Remember our book club. We want you to join us. We do have a book club. Next Tuesday, you've still got time to join us. This is the book, Isabel's Starry Night, Saturday. So you've got a couple of days to download it. You'll be done in a couple of hours. Great book, real fun. All right, let's do the empath's prayer. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. Let me go back and make sure. Did I miss any major questions? Okay, thank you, Joel. Thank you. You guys didn't even have to come in. It was an off day, and Joel still came in. Thank you. Let's see where Putin's at. I mean, my thought, if I were in Putin's shoe, was this guy's insane. He's like a rabid dog. You got to take him out. Send him some. You know, send him some of that beautiful borscht recipe you've sent out to all over the world. Putin's special sauce, right? Put it in the borscht or the cream soup or whatever it was. Gosh, can you imagine? Oh, you're not going to pay me, huh? I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to beat your. It's like, oh my God. Putin's status. House arrest. He is very close to house arrest. He has limited power, so it could be that there's a military coup. Also, I feel CIA or Ukrainian spy. There's some kind of hidden stuff going on. This is where Putin is at right now. Either he's about to be captured or he's under house arrest. I think they could. Putin's days are numbered, clearly. For the time being, it looks like Prigozhin got out safe, which safe passage was what Prigozhin had asked for. When you go into the remotes, he wanted safe passage. He gets safe passage. Also, is he married with a family? He's asking about safe passage. That's what he had wanted. So this guy wants out. He wants out of Russia. He wants out of that area if he's going to do this coup. This is not a guy who's going to take Putin and rule Russia. This is a guy that wants safe passage. Hopes and fears of Putin. Who will win the war, right? Ace of Wands is the staff. It's a territory. We've talked about how wands are always territorial. Something about land or territory. Aries, right? Leo. These are fire cards. Wands burn, right? Fire burns. Wood. In the Chinese medicine, it's the element of wood which burns, right? Final outcome is Queen of Pentacles, the hidden queen, the queen of mystery. Let's find out. Time for him to escape in that submarine he has. Supposedly he's got like an escape submarine. Drop into your escape submarine and go off to Siberia. He's being given an opportunity to surrender. He's going to be given an opportunity to surrender by the West, and he's going to refuse the offer. So I think he's trapped, and it's going to result in his imprisonment. And there's something here about him refusing to surrender. A new beginning and 4 walls, trapped, 4 walls, right? The negative aspects of the 4 of Wands, to be trapped in 4 wands. Is that 4 walls? That's it. Not everybody wants to be Betty Crocker and stay in 4 walls, and their world is nothing more than 4 walls, right? What's wrong with you? You are not a natural woman if you don't want to live and die in 4 walls, while the rest of us go out and live great lives, right? This idea that, you're supposed to want to be in the 4 walls, right? But actually, it can be, particularly in the case of 9 of Swords, it could be an indication of house arrest. The domicile, the beginnings of a domicile. The other in relationship with him enters into a state of confusion and doesn't know where to go. In plain words, he's given some kind of temporary safe passage, but really has no direction. So we don't really know where Prigozhin will go. You're free to leave here, but to go where? Where can I go that's safe, where I won't be assassinated? Well, we can't tell you that. You're gonna have to work that out for yourself. But for the next 15 minutes while you pack up and leave, NATO's going to let you take off. Well, where can I go to safely? Well, we can't guarantee you won't be taken out in Africa or you won't be taken out somewhere else. That seems to be the indication. The hopes and fears here again is he fears being poisoned. Uh, he's relying heavily on his ships, his subs, and if he escapes, he could escape by boat. So it's one of those things where you know, he does have a submarine, supposedly. God only knows what kind of condition it's in. Can you imagine you're like vacationing somewhere in Alaska and a submarine pops up and Putin pops out and just by water and yeah. This is the mermaid's card, by the way. The ship's mast for protection of the ship. The final outcome, he refuses the offer. So he's not going to surrender Four of Cups. So that's the situation. Uh, not only do I think this war is coming to an end, but it's looking like somebody has control of Putin. Yeah. In a very short amount of time, he will not have control of his movements. Ukraine's counteroffensive. Okay. These are so good. You guys got to get it. Get the Italian soda tropical flavor, Kroger, and coconut water. And then fill it up 2/3 with the coconut water. So you're getting your electrolytes, and 1/3. So you're only getting 1/3 the sugar, and the rest is the healthy sugar stuff. We want to believe it. Yes. Delicioso, delicioso, delicioso. All right. Ukrainian counteroffensive. I'm going to take my hat off. Ah. Oh my goodness. The Russian people are not happy. Yes, they are not happy. Oh, that he was told. Yeah, that makes sense that he would be told that, but I doubt that's true. I mean, he's a madman. Would you trust him if you were Putin? Of course not. Ukrainian counteroffensive. They received quite a bit of aid. The It's looking pretty tough. They were given many, many chances. Here is what Zelensky is saying about what you guys should prepare for. A lot of Russians could die in the next week. And it is pretty brutal. And the takeaway here is that Zelensky is at a point of no empathy because they were given there were countless times they were told to withdraw from Crimea. They were told to withdraw from these locations. There were multiple opportunities given. And so now if certain units are decimated, it's there's not a lot of sympathy at this point because of what has happened to Ukraine. So to begin with Ukraine, they received justice and substantial aid. They're entering into the time of the King of Swords. No mercy. It's unfortunate. It's bad. They will take many prisoners. Offer rescinded. Yeah, it's bad. An inverted queen, an inverted knight of cups. Come on, we don't want to have to kill you. Just leave. We are giving you the honor of running, right? Offer rescinded. It's really, 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 really bad for Russia. Really bad. This is a bad, bad week. Um, the main thing that Russia didn't want to give up its economic hold. It's like pots of gold all over Ukraine. So this type of criminal loves money, right? They don't want to lose their money. It's about the money. They're holding on until the very end to their economic interest. But there is this tremendous faith the Ukrainian people have. Um, the fool goes in bravely, assistance, right? The journey, right? This is kind of faith cards. Look at this war. Look at that. Just up. It's just so bloody. The Knight of Swords is the most violent of the knights. In prisons due to economic, well, hidden money of some type or a hidden, in a prison. It's like they were hiding money in institutions in Ukraine. It's going to come out something like that. Fighting, more fighting. Yeah, inverted. This came inverted. So in plain words, what Ukraine is saying is that they're going to go in very, very, very hard with this counter offensive. There's a lot of psychological games that are going on also with, I think, intelligence and Prigozhin. I mean, the man is clearly not mentally stable. And there's a little bit of back and forth playing with him psychologically, those games that our intelligence agencies can play. But there seems to be a little bit of something going on with our intelligence agencies where they are screwing with Prigozhin a little bit. You gonna let him talk to you like that? You're doing all this work. Seems to me I'd be kind of pissed. It's a little bit something like that going on as well. Interesting. Oh, NATO standing by. Let us see. What is going on with NATO? I think NATO is really strong. Boy, we learned the hard way that Russia was just didn't want to be our friend like we thought they did, right? Um, NATO is restricted right now from going in. So, oh, there's a new. It's ending, and then when the war ends, then NATO can come in. But it's like NATO comes in afterwards just to keep peace, to keep certain things out. But that's probably going to be within 30 days. We could see some kind of peacekeeping force come in. Right now, restricted, but the situation changes within 30 days. An offer of rejection. So you also have some kind of international group coming in to tell basically Russia it's over. The battlefield is over within the next 30 days. I think it's going to be less than 30 days. Something again, it always goes with this war. Look at this mercenaries, money. Money for the mercenary. Always with the money, always. Final outcome, look at that. Moving on, victory, Knight of Wands, which would be going forward, right? South, also west is an interesting direction for this card because it it's a card that always makes me think of like the warmth, the Southwest. It has almost like I always think of like California when I think about the Southwest. It's an interesting card in war as well because it has a feeling of like forward, going forward, as opposed to, say, a Knight of Pentacles, which is a card that goes nowhere. It sits, but it can be a very solid card financially. If you're dating a young knight who's a Knight of Pentacles, he will probably give you a stable life. The Knight of Wands, though, is movement. And in a case of war, it would indicate that they probably are going to be taking a lot of territory back in the coming next couple of weeks. Yeah. There's really nothing holding back the Knight of Wands. It's that fire energy, it's that passion of the fire energy. Yeah. So Holly, hi, are you? Thank you for being a member. Yes, I addressed that. The third champagne. Yes, good question. Katrine Devine. Will the states do progressive rulings like Minnesota? I'm not sure which progressive ruling you're referring to, but would be great to know. Let's see. So it's okay now. Just coming out that Prigozhin, they're not going to charge him if he retreats to Belarus. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work out for him. Trump flipping, yes, the issue of Trump flipping. Yeah, I mean, I think they're very serious. They're very serious about locking this guy up. So he must know that. Let me take a look. It's an interesting time we live in, isn't it? Hi, Ann Hardick. Good to see you here. Hi, John France. Hi, TRX32. Nancy Cornett. Always blessed. And Sue Malik, of course. David Garcia's in the house. Nice to see you. Trump flipping. Okay, let's see what we find out here. There's a lot of reasons to take the deal. There's a lot of reasons for the DOJ to, I mean, Jack Smith was saying he wanted a speedy trial, that he was ready to go. He'd be ready by August. Oh no, they want to wait till December. Really? That's not what he said yesterday or the day before. So when Jack Smith acts like that, I think that's sending a very clear message to Trump's legal team. We're ready to go. We don't need to delay. Oh, now we're going to delay till December. We want to have a really solid case. We had a solid case. We were ready to go. What changed? What's changing is I think if this guy can plead guilty like Michael Cohen did uh, to a lesser sentence, we could avoid a lot of work with this particular person. So, but I don't know what the deal is going to look like. He's definitely upset, Five of Cups, and you've got that hermit card breathing literally down his neck. Oh, you gewaltig mir. Um, yeah, they were ready by August. It was a pretty straightforward case. August, they were ready to go. Temperance. I've always seen him incarcerated by August. Again, this everything seems to be pointing to the fact that there's some kind of deal here. Like he didn't want to take the deal. Didn't want to take that deal. The Four of Cups was the deal he rejected, but I really feel it's over. Emperor over him and the Knight of Pentacles that goes nowhere. Boom, over. I really feel this guy. Again, he takes a lesser sentence. They don't have to make a hero out of him. They can wrap it up really quickly. Also, he has to be deposed. He has to be deposed. He has to start handing things over. Maybe they're going to start going through electronics, but who knows how much stuff he's got. I mean, oof, boy, did they get. He really got. Oh, Joel Tilson, is it a yellow submarine? I don't know. I just remember reading a while ago that Putin had his own submarine. I guess in nuclear vents or whatnot, somewhere in Siberia or whatnot, he can escape in his submarine. Anyway, so that's all I know about Trump flipping. Those are the benefits of getting him to plead guilty. Okay, so China's position on Putin, that's still pretty embarrassing, don't you think? Doesn't he still have to formally deliver the plea by showing up in court if they do get a deal? If they do get a deal and he puts in a formal plea in August, which is what it's starting to look like, is that he may agree to something? Wouldn't he? He does have to physically show up, right? Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. He's a loser. The whole world knows it, right? His biggest fear. So let's take a look at the future of China, talk about having all kinds of economic problems. Also, their hold on the U.S. housing market is being crashed. What do you think's going on with the Feds raising interest rates? What do you think that's doing to Chinese investing? Do you think that they're trying to send a message to China every time? You think they're trying to bust China's hold by raising these interest rates? Do you think it's a conscious understanding that it might be taxing China if we keep doing that? If we're blaming China for an increase in it for inflation and housing inflation, if that's part of who we're blaming is foreign investing, could it be that part of why we keep raising interest rates is because we're trying to shake them loose and say, sell off your U.S.? It's an interesting idea. Something to think about. Some economists have speculated it's a way of busting the Chinese market. I will leave it to the economists. Seems to be having an interesting ripple effect on Chinese investors in certain banks. Mm-hmm. All right, let's look at the future of China. Not good. It's bad in China. It's getting worse in China. Uh, it's bad in China. It's just, I shouldn't laugh. It's no, it's very difficult times. A lot of people's businesses, a lot of small businesses, a lot of real estate. It's just a really, really difficult time. There is a feeling like the US wins again, a feeling of frustration, like the West wins, the West outbeats us again. We see the collapse of Russia, what's going on with the war, but we also see this in China with the Three of Swords, division, heartbreak. We don't see unity. We see the opposition in the place of the sun, the hope and the fear, Biden, right? So Biden being the West or the power of the West. Also, the sun is with the opposition. And the final outcome, unfortunately, for China is they've done it in a sense to themselves: red tape, restriction, jailed. They're going to have to sell off some real estate. Um, they're angry about Taiwan because they feel like they're being screwed over with trade, which is a lot of what these wars are caused by. But it's almost like they feel like they're entitled to Taiwan's resources and money. So, like, if we give money to Taiwan for resources, they feel like they should get a portion for themselves because they own Taiwan. They believe that they are really the owners of Taiwan. And so they see Taiwan making deals, and hey, where's our cut? That's how it feels to them because of this feeling that they are Taiwan. So, Queen of Swords can be vindictive. There is this heartbreak and anger. She is, you don't want to piss her off. And so right now, China is expressing the Queen of Swords towards the United States. That can't be a good. And the anger is really directed towards this money, that's this wheeling and dealing that's happening between the U.S. and Taiwan, is only making them more infuriated because they're out of the deal. So that's how it feels. I just feel the rage of her, like, you didn't include my cut. And then the United States or the West has the sun and the strong leadership, the emperor. So how would you feel? I guess I'm not saying right or wrong. That's not the function of this channel, but the function of this channel is to invite people to experiment with the idea of how would you feel if you truly, how would you feel? Have you ever truly thought about it? Um, and when you think about it, you're pretty damn pissed. This can be a card that's pretty darn, yeah, pissed, vindictive, you know. Um, yeah, wheeling and dealing. There's Biden, wheeling and dealing, Two of Cups. So the party is happening. Woohoo! Two of Cups, Biden, and you're out there in the cold, screwed over. So that's what it feels like. And then the final outcome for him is they're going to have to change their attitude with the United States, like the spying that happened, where they arrested people in Canada and the United States. There's a new relationship that will begin to happen between the United States and China, but they have to change their ways because I can tell you, President Biden with these cards has zero tolerance, and they can't win with these cards. Their cards are not as good as the United States cards. So, yeah, I think that they should try and negotiate. I think that they should seriously change up. If there's a spying issue, all that stuff needs to get discussed. And I believe in mediation. I've always said I see us resolving it through mediation. Okay, I think I'll do one more. Did everybody's question though about the whole crazy stuff that's going on? I only can tell you what I know, and I don't know everything. Um, but yeah, yeah, that's what I know. Well, I mean, that's the thing, D, is that they feel like their stuff is being stolen and sold off, and America and Taiwan's making a load of money, and it's their resources, and that they have that they're entitled to a portion of it. So that's what the anger is about. Hi, Tupelo, honey. Tupperville, Tuberville abortion and military positions. Oh my God, I can't. I just. Let's take a look. This will be the last question. HCRV is Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. You can join at the Elders, Empaths, and Healers level, and that's our mystery school for people that want to study HCRV. Okay. I see poverty. I don't know all of what this is about, Tupelo, honey, but there's tremendous poverty and suffering around this question. The people involved feel that their hands are tied. There's an issue of abuse of power and a lack of money and resources. So this looks bad. Corruption, ignorance, lack of leadership, foolishness, and lack of money. What was this about? It's very dangerous, whatever this is. Um, if it seems to me like if it's the federal government, then they should be able to get the. It's not outlawed federal; it's a state thing, so they should be able to get medical attention. But whatever's going on, he's holding up military appointments. Who is until to change abortion policy? I don't know who he is. Who is the he? Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, Tommy, yes, I see poverty and desperation and unhappiness and blah 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 blah. So, their policies will create a lot of heartbreak if they get these policies to go through, and it's just not going to bode well for them. It will not bode well for them. No, he's not going to get what he wants. He won't get what he wants. There are negative consequences. Yeah. All right, you guys. I will see you at 11 a.m. I'll try and put more makeup on today. I just have a little lipstick. Oh yeah. Okay, now I get it. The cards were terrible. Alabama. I mean, like it was just poverty cards and cards of desperation and helplessness. It's like, good God, what those lives are so difficult for the people that are poor in this country. Lives are so hard, and just why make it even more unbearable? I mean, it's just just so difficult. It's hard to be poor in America. I mean, I've been poor in America, and it's just creating another burden. Yeah. All right, love and light. I'll see you all tomorrow. Please be well and have a great rest of the weekend. All right.